We're back. Thanks for staying with us. Joined now by Karl Schilling. Karl is the founder of something called the Advocacy Network. Karl, always a pleasure having you in the program.
Oh, it's always great to be with you, Don. Thanks so much.
I know you specialize in helping consumers avoid financial victimization. Now it's happening to us from our own government.
Yeah, I think it's time to take a close look, Don. Back in 2017, I was telling a lot of people inside of our network that it was time to seriously consider getting away from qualified money, cashing out, lowest tax rate, when Trump brought in a very low tax rate. And the fact that the government is a very poor partner with that, and then giving people some options of where they should go with their money. What should they do if they were going to take in this money? So some people followed that advice and have done very, very well. Many people chose not to because, change is tough and they wanted to trust what's going on. But we're back at that. We're at a worse time than we were in 2017. We're at a critical moment in time with what the government's doing right now.
Tell us about it.
Well, if you notice, the two things that are happening right off the bat. One, they're talking about making the banks have to report anything over $600. Usually that used to be $10,000. Now they want to get down to the point where they're going to report everything about $600. So having your own bank is more important than ever, and I'll briefly cover that. Second thing is they now have worked on trying to control where you can put and invest your qualified money. This is something I said way back then. One of the control factors would be to determine that you have to invest in a certain area. Like, let's say the government decided, because they needed to pump up the bond market, let's say they decided to just tell all the people that you can only invest your qualified funds into treasuries. That's all you can do. Can't do anything else because the government's your partner, right? So those are two areas people have to look at real closely. One, can you control your money, go where you want to go with it? And two, was tax deferral really that advantageous when we are probably in the lowest tax rate we're ever going to see in our lives, Don? So now the issue is, what would you do if I cashed out? Where would I go and what would I do?
The $600 rule they're banting about, which is basically hidden in the infrastructure bill. You know how many billions of transactions we're talking about?
It's a way to, well, one, it's a way to also another tax for regulations, to get more money from the banks as well, which the banks are going to do what? They're going to pass it on to me and you.
Well,
they're not, all those fees for those transactions, right? They're going to pass it on to us.
Even your dog's upset about it.
Yeah, I know. My, I got a couple up there. There we go. Sorry about that. Well, lastly, Don, where would people go? I'm going to just tell people real quickly on this, and I can certainly talk with people. The three areas I see as still very, very viable. Life insurance is a very protected area. They are going to talk about, you can assume that the government is going to, this government under this administration, you got to be like Gretzky, go where the puck is going to be. You can assume right now that these people will be wrong in almost every decision. I hate to say that, but you can assume that, I think, okay? So they're talking about raising interest rates. They're talking about increasing taxes. We know that that's just incredibly wrong, right? So the issue would be, how do I protect myself in the lifeboat? It's like every man for himself. So life insurance is if it's done properly, and again, you can't just jump out there and do it with a lot of what they're telling you. There's ways to do it, very sophisticated ways to use life insurance to create tax deferral, your own bank, and to take out tax-free income that nobody will even know you have. That's number one. Number two, if they go after the life insurance companies, they always have a history of being grandfathered. And the life insurance industry has been more sound than the banking industry for hundreds of years. So a good, solid life insurance company in a good, solid mutual type of plan is a way to hide a lot of money. Okay, that's number one. And when I say hide, I don't mean hide it from government or anything. It's just growing your money and being your own bank. Okay. Secondly, annuities. I won't go into them, but annuities, sometimes people got health problems. Life insurance doesn't work, so they got to go to annuities. And lastly, because you're in this market, Don, small cap companies, I think are going to be a very interesting play, because if you're an individual investor right now, your danger in the entire big market is to stop losses of the big institutions. So once the big movements start happening, what is it? Why? How does it happen? It's automated, right? So it's the big institutions who are getting out. And when they get out, you as a little investor, there's not even crumbs left on the table for you to exit. So you're locked in. Now with small cap companies, a lot of them are not yet touched by the big institutions. So if you pick the right ones, a lot of your clients, people you deal with that you show people, those are good long-term places to be. It's not about short-term money, it's about long-term money. They're pretty safe because we know the institutions may find them at some point, and that's going to be good for you because that's when you can take all your profits when the institutions replace you. But prior to that, you're safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If people want to pick your brain personally, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call me anytime. First of all, you can reach me at theadvocacynet.com. I'm redoing the website, by the way. And secondly, Don, 321-947-3220. Glad to speak with anybody about this and help them design how to do this properly. It's important time, Don. I believe I'm not a sky is falling guy, but this is an important time to go where the puck is going to be.
The Advocacy Network, Karl Schilling, you've done a great service to many consumers. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Don.